Right now, a predator could be watching you, and you wouldn't even know it. Whether you live or die comes down to one tiny decision. Move wrong and you're food. Stay still and you walk away untouched. Sounds dramatic. It's not. It's biology. Let me show you. Picture this. You're standing in the woods. 50 feet away, a mountain lion steps out from the tree line, and it looks directly at you. It just stares, like you accidentally walked into the wrong Zoom meeting, and nobody knows why you're there. Every instinct in your body is screaming one word, run. And that's exactly the problem. Because the one thing your body is begging you to do is the exact thing that gets people killed. Stay till the end. Because the last part will completely change how you think about fear itself. The second you turn around and sprint, you stop being a confused human, and you apply for the position of prey. Here's the secret most people never learn. Predators don't hunt because they're angry. They hunt off a trigger, and that trigger is movement. Specifically, fast, flailing movement. Scientists call it the prey drive. It isn't a decision the animal makes. It's closer to a reflex. When a lion sees something bolt, a switch flips. When a wolf sees something run, the same switch flips. The brain stops thinking, and it starts chasing. You've actually seen this before. Think about a house cat. It ignores a piece of string sitting perfectly still on the floor, then loses its mind the second you twitch it away. The string didn't suddenly get tastier, it just started running. Now take that same reflex, and put it inside a 150-pound mountain lion, instead of a 9-pound tabby. Suddenly, running isn't just embarrassing, it's the worst decision available to you. Here's the part that shocks people. In most of these encounters, the animal isn't even trying to eat you. It's trying to figure out what on earth you even are. Predators didn't survive this long by picking fights for fun. Every hunt costs energy, and every fight risks an injury. And out in the wild, there's no emergency room. No stitches for a torn muscle, no cast for a cracked jaw. So before doing anything, the animal is quietly running the numbers. Is this a threat? Is this food? Can I win this without limping away from it? And honestly, a human is a strange contestant to judge. We stand upright instead of on 4 legs. That's unusual. We face forward instead of offering a nice profile like a deer grazing sideways, and we smell like a walking chemistry set. Sweat, soap, sunscreen, fuel, metal, whatever cologne felt like a good idea that morning. None of it matches anything on a predator's usual menu. So that long, unsettling stare isn't the animal building courage to attack, it's the animal squinting at you, like you're a word in a language it's never seen before. And then you run. And just like that, you've answered every question it was asking. And you answered every single one wrong. Running tells a predator 3 things almost instantly. 1, that you're afraid, which reads as weakness. 2, that you move like prey, because prey runs and predators do not. 3, that you've turned your most vulnerable side toward the thing with claws. It's the wildlife equivalent of emailing your password to a hacker. And it gets worse. A mountain lion's entire body is engineered around this one moment. The claws, the explosive short burst of speed, the bite aimed at the back of the neck. All of it is optimized for something that's already fleeing. Standing still doesn't just fail to trigger that system. It denies the system the one ingredient it actually needs: motion. This is why wildlife agencies say the exact same thing, everywhere. In lion country, in bear country, in wolf country, don't run. Make yourself big. Back away slowly. It's not a folksy tip your uncle picked up on a camping trip. It's a direct countermeasure to a very old, very literal trigger. Now here's where it gets fascinating. Different predators have different personalities. Mountain lions are stealth experts. Think ninja, silent, patient, waiting for the perfect moment. Wolves are team players. Think co-workers who insist every problem needs another meeting. They test, they watch, they wait. A calm group of humans looks like a terrible investment, but one panicked person sprinting away, that's a completely different business opportunity. So a lot of what looks like an attack is actually just a test. And bears are the biggest bluffers in the business. A bluff charge is genuinely terrifying to witness. A full sprint straight at you. That stops just a few feet short. It isn't a failed attack. It's the bear asking, in the least subtle way possible, are you going to run? And if you hold your ground, the charge usually ends right there. Because the bear already got the answer it was fishing for, wolves run a quieter version of the same test, circling, posturing, sizing you up before ever committing, because a real hunt is expensive and risky. And testing the target first beats gambling blind. So in most of these moments, the animal is negotiating, not attacking, and running is the one move that ends the negotiation instantly, always in its favor. But let's be honest, none of this is an ironclad law. Some encounters were never a negotiation in the first place. A predator that's already starving, one that's been stalking you unseen, or a mother defending cubs at close range. That animal isn't weighing pros and cons anymore. That decision got made before you ever noticed it was there. But those situations are the rare exception, not the daily reality. Most encounters that end peacefully end that way for one reason. The animal was still watching, still deciding, still doing the math, and the outcome of that math depends heavily on what you do next. So, standing your ground has nothing to do with bravery. It's simply refusing to hand over the one signal its instinct is waiting for. Bears throw one more curveball into all of this. Because not every bear charges about hunting at all. A startled bear might charge out of pure surprise. A mother with cubs might charge to protect them. A bear guarding a food stash might charge to defend it, not out of appetite, but out of defense. And running still makes it worse, just for a different reason. The bear doesn't suddenly decide you look delicious. It's that fleeing turns a tense, uncertain moment into motion and a panic, and no human being, no matter how many marathons they've trained for, is outrunning something that size. Here's the strangest part of the whole thing. Millions of years of evolution built your body for a world exactly like this, and it still insists on the same advice. Run. That instinct evolved a long time ago, back when the choice between fight, flight, or freeze happened faster than conscious thought could weigh in. But humans have something almost no other prey animal gets to have: the ability to notice that ancient alarm going off and choose on purpose not to listen to it. And that is the entire secret behind every survival tip about lions, bears, and wolves. It was never about outrunning the animal, because you can't. It's about outsmarting the one reflex. That would turn a tense standoff into an actual chase. And the research backs this up. Most encounters between humans and large carnivores never escalate into anything at all. And the ones that do usually share a specific set of ingredients: a surprise at close range, an animal already used to raiding human food, an injured predator running out of options, or a defensive mother protecting her young. Outside of those specific situations, distance, stillness, and calm behavior overwhelmingly tip the odds in the human's favor. Predators aren't holding back out of mercy, and they're definitely not waiting around for an excuse to attack. They're running the same cold calculation that every apex predator on the planet runs constantly. Is this worth the risk? A human standing still, looking big, holding eye contact, backing away slowly, keeps answering that question with a firm no. Running answers it with yes, and hand delivers the exact piece of information. The chase instinct has been waiting for its entire evolutionary life. Now here's what almost nobody thinks about. This exact same instinct lives inside you too. Not the claws, not the fangs, the chase. Watch two dogs at a park. The moment one runs, the other explodes after it, even if they were best friends a second ago. It's not anger, it's the trigger, motion. And here's the wild connection. Your ancestors didn't just fear predators, they were predators. Early humans hunted using this exact reflex. They chased animals until the animals collapsed. It's called persistence hunting. Humans couldn't outrun a deer in a sprint, but we could outlast it. We'd keep it moving, keep it panicking, keep it running, until its own body gave out from exhaustion. So think about the irony. The same reflex that made us deadly hunters is the same reflex that makes us prey today. Movement was our weapon, and movement can be our downfall. That's why staying still feels so impossible. Your body doesn't want to survive. It wants to obey the reflex, and the reflex is millions of years old. Fighting it feels unnatural, because it is. But that tiny act of control, that decision to freeze when everything screams run, is one of the most human things you can possibly do. No other prey animal on Earth can override its panic on purpose. A gazelle can't decide to stay calm. A rabbit can't talk itself down. But you can. And that single ability might be the reason our species is still here. Think about that for a second. Every human who ever survived a predator passed that calm down to the next generation. The panickers ran, and often didn't make it. The calm ones stood their ground, and lived to have children. So in a strange way, you are the descendant of the calm ones. Calm is literally in your blood. You just have to remember how to use it. And this lesson doesn't stay in the woods. It follows you everywhere, into your job, into your relationships, into every moment life corners you, because panic makes prey out of all of us. The person who panics in a crisis makes the worst possible decision. The person who stays calm sees the way out that others miss. The predator in your life might not have claws. It might be a deadline, a fight, a fear, a moment that makes your heart race. And the same rule applies Don't run. Stand your ground. Breathe. Think. So let's bring this all the way home. The next time fear takes over, and your heart is pounding, and your legs are begging you to run, remember what's really happening. That fear isn't wisdom. It's an old alarm, designed for a world that no longer exists. And you are the only creature that gets to choose whether to obey it or override it. The predator was never really chasing you. It was waiting to see if you'd chase yourself into becoming prey. Your calm was always the real weapon, not your speed. So the next time your instinct screams, run, take a breath, stand your ground, and remember, you were built to master fear, not to obey it. If this changed the way you see fear, do one small thing for me. Hit that subscribe button right now, so you never miss the next survival secret that could one day save your life.